Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Bashim Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. My brother Yahweh call from Great Millstone, Orlando. Just to touch on this topic real quick. We briefly touched on this past Saturday. I'm dealing with, which I'm gonna grab this here, get into it in the book of. Bear with me. Because of the importance of doing its work. Here it is, you have a lot of Jake Israelites that get the so-called opportunity to work for someone like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or whatever. They take pride. They take pride in that job title. Here it is, we have the highest calling. And this is our profession, all right? Because there's a difference between a job and a profession. So this is our profession, all right? Serving Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. I'm gonna go to this real quick. In the book of Matthew 17, in 20, it says, "And Yahweh said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence ye yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you." So, again, as we touched on this past Saturday's camp, and like I said, the importance of doing this work, as this being our profession, the highest calling. All right. With that being said, the importance of doing this work, because with that, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai, ushering in the kingdom of heaven, which we are desperately, eagerly desiring, is for the kingdom of heaven to be established on earth. All right. So with that being said, as we speak these things into existence through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai, and the tearing down of Esau's kingdom, wicked kingdom, and again the ushering in of righteousness. You see, because going into this mountain, which it can also represent, as we all have plenty of David and Goliath moments, right? This mountain can just represent things that you may be dealing with or battling or whatever the case may be. But also, dealing with governments, all right? And the main government, or the exalted ones, pretty much, of course, dealing with Esau, Edom. And again, the more we partake in this word, doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Shai, the more a piece of this kingdom falls. All right. So that's why, again, the importance of doing this work. I'm gonna go to this. That's what's that? Isaiah 11. I do believe, because the scriptures talk about the Lord frustrating the tokens of Esau, roughly paraphrasing, and going into those tokens, a part of that token, because the prophets being a major sign, and not only that, because I make the point from time to time, the fact that Yahweh Bashim Shai has all these prophets on the earth at one time, it says something. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to this. Bear with me. I believe that's Zechariah chapters 9. You can start at really verse 11, but I want to get to the point in verse 16. Zechariah 9:16. "And the Lord their power shall save them in that day, as a flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. So, and I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna look it up, but that word ensign is interchangeable with something like a banner, going into something to be displayed, a flag, to raise a beacon. You know, that's heavy. Because like the scripture say, a little light on the hill can't be hid. And pursuant to Isaiah 60, the glory of Yahweh Bashim Shai is being risen upon us, Lord, when we are that number. So we are those little beacons of light under Yahweh Shai. All right. But again, just making a point dealing with, as I quoted, the tokens. All right, as I quoted, you know, part of that token were those signs or the prophets being on the scene. All right, and this is a part of that ensign, that banner, that flag that's being you know, displayed. All right. So from there, I'm going to go to Isaiah, back to Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11 in verse, because like I just read in Zechariah 9, like I said, you can start up, because it's going into how Yahweh Bashim Shai basically using his people. Slakia, and mainly the elect. But Isaiah 11 in verse, let's start at verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah and from the four corners of the earth. So again, you know, Israelites specifically, and even more specifically, the prophets, all right, being that ensign, all right. We'll go to this in Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13, I'm going to start at 1. The burden of Babylon. So what's the burden of Babylon? Hey, again, the prophets, all right, being a major sign, all right. It says, which Amos, the son of Amos, did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. So you see, like I said, that token, those tokens, as I quoted again, a part of that token going into wonders, signs, that ensign, the banner, as I just read here. And as it said, upon the high mountain, again, this government, all right, this system, all right. You know, I always say, man, you know, we're behind enemy lines, being behind enemy lines, all right, telling this devil that he's going down in his kingdom. That's a major, that's a serious act of treason. So, you know, this is why things are happening in the earth. All right. Speaking these words into existence through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Again, that's why it's so important and so crucial to partake in the work. Do the work. All right. Because Yahweh Shema Shai, he's making major moves. And again, a part of the major moves that he's making is, again, raising up the elect, raising up the prophets. All right. So, again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, again, to the face of this system, all right, this beast system, Esau, the elites, you're going down, all right. So going back to that one more time, because as I read, I'm going to read it again in Matthew 17 and No matter what Esau does within his power, with whatever Yahweh Shema Shah allows him to do. All right, here it is. Trump is trying to push hope, the last great white hope. All right. For the most part, even though it's waning, because those that voted in support of Trump, well, now they're starting to regret, mainly Esau, because again, their kingdom is losing. Their kingdom is going down. But as much as Trump is again putting that vibration out there as far as hope, right? Making America great again and things of that nature. Well, hey, this burden shall not be lifted. All right. Back in Matthew 17:20, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So again, all right, that mountain, this government, this system, Esau, the elites, all right, which that's what mountains can represent, governments. Matter of fact, Ezekiel 17. Ezekiel 17 and 24. Matter of fact, verse Ezekiel 17 and 22. Thus saith the Lord power, I will also take of the highest branch of the high cedar and will set it. I will crop off from the top of his young twigs a tender one, and will plant it upon the high mountain. I will plant it upon an high mountain and eminence. In the mountain of the height of Israel will I plant it, and it shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit and be a goodly cedar. And under it shall dwell all fowl of every wing. In the shadow of the branches thereof shall they dwell. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, have brought down the high tree, have exalted the low tree. So you see, man, all right, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end, Jacob is the beginning. All right. It says, have dried up the green tree and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, Yahweh, have spoken and have done it. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Al Shai, as we speak, is currently doing it. All right. Bringing down the high tree, and exalting the low tree. And this is all a part of that banner, that sign, all right, that burden. All right, it's not going to be lifted. All right. All day that, because, like the scripture say, roughly paraphrasing, Israel is not desired, and the ones that are getting ready to rule are the ones that are the people least expected. You see, the ones that are getting ready to rule under Yahweh Shai are the least expected to rule, the least desirable. That's what I like the scripture say. When that time comes and the deliverance of the elect is going to be an astonishment. It's going to be an amazement. Like, damn, these were the people? You're damn right. So Yahweh Shema Shai is doing incredible things, doing amazing things. Again, all a part of the signs, the tokens, all right, the wonders, the miracles, right? Let me just go to it real quick. In the book of Isaiah. And like the scripture say, the Lord's not going to frustrate the patience of the godly. You see, but here it is, Isaiah 44, 25. That frustrated the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish. And like it says in Isaiah 24, real quick. Isaiah 24. I'm going to start at 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. As I read in Ezekiel, Yeah, Ezekiel 17. All right, he's bringing down the high tree and he's going to exalt the low tree. You see, and this is the burden of Babylon. All right, the burden of Egypt. All right, it says verse 22. This is why Esau, he wants to put sea hips in everyone. All right, because hypothetically speaking, if he was able to do that, to accomplish that, then Yahweh Bashar Shah would do away with this covenant with his people. So, it's all a ransacking of the third temple all over again. This is what Esau's trying to accomplish, to get his birthright back. All right, but newsflash. It says, verse 22, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Verse 23 is the point. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, which can represent wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And Esau's light is going out. This will also represent the missiles as well. Because there's going to be so many missiles, man. It's going to block out the sun, the moon, right? But speaking, dealing with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Yahweh Bashar Shah, he's dimming the light of Esau. All right, because as I just read, I'm going to go back to it. But to finish it out, it says, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem and be before his ancients gloriously. Because Yahweh Bashar Shah is getting ready to establish the mountain of Israel, and all nations are going to have to come to the mountain of Israel. All right. You see, so Yahweh Bashar Shah is shutting this thing down. He's shutting this place down. Going back to this, Isaiah 44. Isaiah 44 and 25, that frustrated the tokens of the liars and maketh the diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward and maketh their knowledge foolish. So again, the light of Esau Edom, because he's nothing but a Luciferian on the left hand. Bring that out last week about the Isaiah 14. Oh, Lucifer, how's that fallen? Like it says in the book of Baruch. All right, the real Illuminati, or the real illuminated ones, are the elect on the right hand. All right, the prophets. You see, so Esau's light is going out. Yahweh Bashar Shah is blowing his candle out. But the point being, the tokens, frustrated the tokens, because as I quoted, Yahweh Bashar Shah, he's not going to, as the scriptures say, frustrate the patience of the godly, roughly paraphrasing. All right, Yahweh Bashar Shah is finally turning the tables, setting things right side up. As I've read in Isaiah 24, the last verse, but when you read the first verse, it tells you how the Lord's he's going to turn things upside down, which really he's turning things upside up, because everything's already turned upside down for these people. He's really turning things right side up, the way it's supposed to be. So call Allah Yahweh Bashar Shai. But going into this word tokens, again, it says a signal, a distinguishing mark, a banner, remembrance, miraculous sign, an omen, a warning. You see, so it also says a standard, miracle, and it is a damn miracle. All right, like it says in Isaiah 35. Isaiah 35. I'm gonna start at 1. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice, even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon, which are two beautiful mountains. Yahweh Bashar Shah, he's beautifying his people again. You see, he says, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our power. You see, so I'm going to jump down, because again, this is considered a miracle. A part of that, those tokens, it's a miracle, right? Because against all odds, all resources, Esau's done everything to suppress this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But like I forgot the elder who said it. I believe it was the elder Apostle Gabar said it. This truth is like a buoy. You can push it down for so much. Eventually, that buoy is gonna come back up. So that's just truth. You can suppress it for so long. Eventually, it's gonna come back up to the surface, and the truth is out there. So against all odds, that's why it's a miracle. This is a miracle. Because when in verse 7 it says, "And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water, and the habitation of dragons where each lay shall be grass with reeds and rushes." So this is considered a miracle. All right. This is considered a miracle. A parched ground becoming a pool, right? You know, a place for a habitation for dragons where each lay shall be grass with reeds and rushes. This is considered a miracle. So again, this is all a part of that, the tokens, the signs, the banner, the omen. All right. You know, against this mountain, this system, this government, the elites. So again, that's why it's important to do the work, man. It's important to do the work through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemo Shai. You know, we are speaking these things into existence. All right, speaking the kingdom into existence. That's why, like the scripture say, rejoice ye heavens, right? In Revelation 12, right? And brothers have been pushing that out there, just as far as, hey man, find your joy. Find your joy. We're almost out of here. So again, rejoice ye heavens. And how do you know? Well, hey, the scripture say the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. So it's talking about us. All right. It's talking about us. Yahweh Shema Shah, he's working on miraculous work. All right. Yahweh Shema Shah, he's doing a thing. So Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Shema Shah. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.